Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Soul and Grace podcast, episode 10, our last episode of the season one. And I'm not gonna take a big gap break in between there. So don't expect it because it's not happening. But cheers to episode 10. This is gonna be a very special video to me because this is the episode where you get to know me a little bit, because I see how y'all do with real not real superstars, but like, how y'all be in just Instagram people comments all in a business. But this is so there is the same person behind the mic and in front of the camera, okay? Just so you know. So cheers. You made it to episode 10. I made it to episode 10. And I'm just super excited to really just move forward with the show. Now that I have some type of routine with everything and just the direction been there. I just needed to get past this first season because I really do not believe in a lot of these things. I had to go figure out what they were. So I would imagine someone that is like getting to the point where they realize they need to go down such a journey. Maybe I helped you, maybe I didn't, maybe you need some more explanations. You can always hit me up outside of the show if you do, or look into these things, follow those links, whatever, ask me. I'll send you some links. I will. But I also know a lot of people do not like to read nowadays. So, yeah. Don't message me if you're one of those people. Please do not. Please do not. Because I have one time to tell you something. But otherwise, got my handy dandy iPad here so we can stay on topic today. So, y'all know, before anything else, let's get into hold on. How are you doing? My bad, I almost skipped over that. Hello, how are you? How's your day going? How's your week going? How's your weekend going? How is life treating you? Hopefully good. I know it's a little crazy right now, but y'all, you're not the only one. Please never forget that. You're not the only one, so don't mope too long. I actually was scrolling on Twitter and this chick said, when you're like at the age from 20 something to 35, what are we working towards? Like, I guess she was asking people, like, what are they working for? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I really hate that we are facing the circumstances, because it's everybody's facing it on their own different level. And don't think that they are not. They are. When I say everything that's going on right now in the world, everyone is feeling. Everyone, just in different things or different aspects of their life. And maybe you do have the funds to do it, but trust me, every day something that gets higher, you are still just questioning, how, Joe? And Kamala, I don't know what you're doing. We don't talk about politics on here, but Kamala, you better be ready. Because if that man croak, you better be ready. But anywho, y'all, understand I've filmed this episode 3 times. And why have I not stuck with one exact episode? Just simply because, well, we'll get into it, but I've been very fortunate along my adulthood journey so far. I've mentioned before, a lot of it has to do with me going back and always just thinking like, what would my mom do? I have really good role models in my family. So there is that. But it was more so like so much would just flow. Like I've said mentioned before, recording is also very therapeutic. Um and a lot of things I'm really good at blocking out. And when I was just scripting is taking notes on what I wanted to touch on in the past, because I wanted to talk about all the things that led up to um this journey, this never ending journey, or realizing um I guess I never realized like, oh, I need to go on a self-love journey, but more so I need to make shit more about me and what makes me happy. That more about that. But there are so many things. And I remember I saw this TikTok of this lady saying, do you have that friend that has just lived like multiple lives? And I feel like I have, and it's so funny. It is so funny, and I just don't want to forget anything from along the way. Oh, if y'all have any suggestions on like a iPad holder or something, I'm about to get my music stand now and put my computer on there so it could be closer. But it's always very good to have an outline for these things. And see, my iPad is in my lap, but my holder's over here. I thought I could like do give a little cute, but no, I want it in my lap. But anywho, yeah, I've recorded it multiple times because I didn't want to forget things that are so important to it. But oh my god, it's funny. It was very eye opening, because so often do we forget to um be grateful for where we've gotten and where we've made it to. And I, not to sound not to sound um to sprinkle, oh, manifestation and shit works, because I can tell you now, there are like business goals and stuff like that. Stuff I that was the stuff I was manifesting for. But as far as like things pertaining to family, the peace that I've acquired over time, that I constantly am at battle with because I still want to be a hustle hard asshole. Excuse excuse me, but that's just the truth. Like I can't not want my own things. But like, we just forget to stop and be like, damn, I'm proud of me. Good job, me. You did that. You did that. And then I have more to do. So that is just very, very, very exciting. But it's also scary because I have at least 8 journals. I don't know. I got a bunch of journals where I was just writing shit, and it has happened. It has happened. Now, I don't know why I wasn't scripted and put me on a island with the clearest beach, no hurricane seasons or whatever. I don't even know if that is possible, but I don't know why I wasn't manifesting that, because I should have been manifesting that and not like, oh, I want to go to Paris or I want to go to London, like all of that little stuff. Because then it happens and it's like, that's not ever anything that was not, it just did not give. It was a great, but it just did not give. So, but of course, um, yeah, like just thinking back, and then the memories start flowing, and then you realize, like, hold on, I'm sorry, I like, let me make sure, okay, but you realize, like, hold on, this shit actually worked out. It actually worked out in my favor. I'll toast to that. It worked in my favor, and I got what I wanted. And of course, it didn't happen right away, but it came with time, more work, learning how to do new shit, and concentrating and like focusing on shit when I could focus. Because I'm not saying I'm like the best at that, because I have the mind of an artist. I'm very sporadic and do what I want to do, or I've tried to. do what I want to do. And it's kind of worked out this far. But before we get into my story, we gotta get into this week's gotta have it, which I believe we talked about before. So let's go ahead and jump into this week's gotta have it. So I believe I've already talked about this herb before, and you probably see it everywhere on your apps now, because I think it is one of those herbs that is really popular, but also might not be, um, what do you call it? Resourced or sourced, like they rushed to something like that. But rhodiola, I was supposed to bring the freaking bottle down the stairs, but I'm like I said, I have this list put together with all of these things going up soon, so don't worry about that. And I think I've written down, like, in my little content book that I don't really keep up the pattern with, but I have a lot of great ideas. But I want to make a TikTok about that on my Soul and Grace TikTok page. Y'all make sure to go follow me on TikTok, because that's where I be at while it's here. But anyways, rhodiola benefits. Right now I'm just using it as like something that calms me, because it's just very easy. I've kind of been dealing with like mom burnout, but in the best way. In the sense of like, I'm ready just to go and have my mom here so she could just watch her grandson and I could just go think about myself. But anyways, to wrap up or make me feel better, I'll take that. It works a little bit better than ashwagandha. I believe it's good for your hair, skin, and hormone regulation. More things. I'll put everything in the description box. But that is this week's gotta have it. Of course, you can, if you are deemed healthy, quote unquote deemed healthy, you shouldn't have any reactions to it or any severe reactions. But if you are someone that has different health things going on, I don't want to say issues, but you have um, allergies to specific things or whatever, you definitely want to look into it, or ask your doctor about it. Good luck with that, because some doctors are like, oh, I don't know, but maybe, oh, well, find the herbalist near you, around you. Support your local herbalist in your city. And yeah, that's this week's gotta have it. um and I just want to say, if you are someone that don't have a doctor and you want to try new herbs and stuff, just have 911 on speed dial. Start, like, put on your skin, little one drop, or have just a little. Start with a few drops and not, excuse me, start with a few drops and not with the full dosage that it tells you, which is usually like a milliliter or so, like 2 or 3 times a day. So maybe you only try it once a day, but have 911 on speed dial just in case of emergency. And you'll be all right. More than likely, you'll be all right. But I highly recommend, and would recommend over and over again, unless you are pregnant. Now, let's go ahead and get into Soul Search. So I cannot wait to do the editing to this episode, because I got to get the, oh, I might just use the Issa Rae from Insecure. I don't know if she did that or was that Molly. I don't know, maybe they not, but as you can see from the title of this episode is To Live and Die in LA, because that's kind of like my pivot point in my thing. But if you know, is that Tupac? To live and die in LA is the place to be. A bop, a true bop. And the meaning of that song is definitely something your girl experienced. But as you can see, I'm still here, here, here. I'm still here. Knock on wood. I'm still here. And I didn't necessarily have like the super traumatic shit, because again, y'all, when I say what would my mother do, that plays such a big part in me. I wasn't going out like that. I was not going out like that. And I'm just glad. Actually just so thankful, because I've met so many great people that unfortunately, of course, when you got the money, you got the lifestyle, all that stuff, it seems like, no, you're not going outside. But a lot of those people are very dark and miserable inside. And that just couldn't be me. No, 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 no. So if you are not trying to hear a long story about this, I'm sorry. You had to click out of this episode and go check out one of my other episodes. It's just like a little bit shorter than this one, but not as long. But it's gonna be a good episode. It's gonna be a great episode. But I do have to give that warning. If you don't want to hear a long episode, or the real P. I mean, not that, but bye. Just bye. But to the people that want to know who I am, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it. No, I'm not from LA, first of all. And I say y'all too much. I'm pretty sure I mentioned I'm from Dallas, Texas. But yeah, to know me is to know I am a very special young lady from Dallas, Texas. Yes, a city girl through and through. Through and through. Okay. I only know the city. Okay. I'm a city girl through and through. North Dallas. North Dallas, and from a lovely 5-mile radius area. And I come from a regular middle class family. Everyone has great lives. We ain't rich yet. Not yet. That's my job. That's my job. I mean, I'm working on getting there. But yeah, like I've had a very normal life. Very normal life. But even from like the youngest age, I've kind of always known like I'm special. And honestly, just like when a lot of people say, oh, I know certain things, like I've always known I've been creative, excuse me, artsy, mostly that. Pretty, because I've always been told that, because my damn dimples and just whatever. But besides that, not for looks, but just like very special. And I wouldn't say I've always felt like I didn't fit in, but I've like when I was younger and switched schools or whatever, I can say I don't think I had a friend that mirrored me. I had friends that I like, but I never had a friend that mirrored me. Besides like our skin color and just us having a great vibe. Like I am truly one of a kind. One of literally just like that. And the people that I've attracted, or young or other ladies that I attracted at young ages, as friends, like they were cool too. They were unique in their own ways, and that says a lot to me. Because I've always kind of just been attracted to very fun, creative, or versatile people, and not just like because from a very young age, like man, I can name little girls from when I was younger, like they were this way, they were this way. I'm somewhere in the middle and very versatile, so that's what I was always attracted to for friends. But um knowing that, and like knowing that I've been able to walk with that for 20 something years now to where I am right now, and it has never went to my head, but it always outshines the other people that are not like me. So even to this day, like I'm very good at if me and someone don't click, like I'm not gonna force it. I don't want to force it, because you're no good to me. You're not valuable to me, which may sound like kind of bad up front, but I just can't fake the fun. So there's that. Um, Literally, like, I remember when I was younger, I used to have this little shirt, and I don't know if I don't know if my mom got these shirts from church or what, but I used to have this shirt that said of this little black girl. It was like on a Hanes little t-shirt, and we had a bunch of them. They all said different things, and mine said, "When God made me, He was showing off," and I still feel like that. I still feel like that. I still feel like that. And not that, again, not because of the physical, but because I have never met anyone like me yet. Never. Ever, ever, ever. And that's great. I love that. So, and even myself, like, I've always been the type to hype people up or remind them, like, step into your own in a different way, but now everyone says step into your power, take on who you are, be this person you know you're supposed to be. Yeah, no, I just show people how to be confident in other ways. Excuse me. But literally, like I said, I've been just different and versatile. I don't know. Like, I've always had like the multiple friend groups because I'm very good at or I don't know if this is a good trait or not, but I do put people into boxes in my life because it's kind of like even with code switch. So me having that attitude really got me to where I am today. And to some, that might be like, well, where are you at today? But it's more of just like, it's gotten me everything that I wanted leading up to this point. So that's mind blowing into me. Very mind blowing because really, whatever you want, if you put your mind to it and you keep your focus on that goal and try not to focus on it too much because then for some reason it just don't work out that way, but kind of forget about it, but be doing taking the steps to get to where you want to go and it'll work out. Stay aligned with the people that are where you want to be, which is kind of hard because so many people come into your life and if they like you, they're gonna try to keep being there. So there's always that. But back to me. I've always had an interest in art, like I've mentioned before. And I mean, I've done the different art school things or whatever, did the college dropout thing. Fucking very, very regular, very regular. I'm just gonna keep going and hope that none of my other ones fall. My little vinyls. I really gotta get the little holders on there because they work there. They sit up there when they want to, but when you try to DIY it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, I believe because the records are still in there, it might be too heavy. But back to me. I've lived a very regular life, or what I would deem as a regular life, up until I started wanting to pursue other things in life and be about other things and dream about other things and be focused on chasing other things. So, um I, I don't want to say it wasn't interesting, like life wasn't interesting until I decided I wanted to be a model, but it was pretty normal, like, college parties, doing stuff. I at some point, because I did community college, I decided, or I was looking for, like, you need to work. So I started working at a gym, and that kind of was the kind of turning point because of y'all know that Via Ray sing bubbles up your chest, so bear with me. But when I decided I was gonna be a front desk gym girly, I thought that shit was gonna be so easy. My homegirl worked there. She's the one that got me the job, and it was so fun. And then like it just started evolving to more stuff. I worked in Uptown Dallas, and that's when I started meeting basketball players, fucking just different people with money that were in that were like if you work out in Uptown, anywhere from LA Fitness to Lifetime Fitness is like a click damn near. But there's a certain type of people and they're fun people. That's all I'm gonna say. They're very fun people and you just get into this whole different thing and from there I started being in like mind you at this point in time because by the time I graduated in 2013 I had like a good grip of following on Twitter. Instagram was popping because that was still pretty new from like 2011 or 2012, whenever Instagram became new, like when it was still the camera up on the thing. But so did that and kind of had like that little exposure and that little peak. I used to babysit also because when I was doing front desk, oh, I was doing the daycare in there and a jack of all trades, okay? But even some of the people I would babysit for, they had money and they had like connections. They would always respect me as an adult and like invite me places or that like kicked off my oh we're gonna go to like we used to go to Hop Dotty and get lit or enjoy happy hour on break then go back to the gym, just all type of crazy stuff. So but that like kick started that peak into a different lifestyle, especially like a different lifestyle than shit probably everybody, even my boyfriend at the time, like everybody was still living like the go to college, just kind of go to deep Ellum vibe. And if you've never been to Dallas or you know nothing about Dallas, the deep Ellum vibe and the uptown vibe, they're not the same. And it's like different crowds or whatever, but it was like different. So then again, because I've had this peek into this other lifestyle, now I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, I probably need a little bit more money for the things that I want to do and the people that I want to be around. So I started looking for other front desk jobs and somehow I've get in contact. No, not somehow. I found the job on Craigslist, and it was one of the ones that like wasn't creepy when they responded back to me. It was a black woman owned massage parlor. Y'all. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Mind you, at this point, I'm still living with my mom. Cool. My mom drives me to the interview, to my first 3 days, I think, and then I would like Uber back home. By day three, I found out I'm supposed to be the front desk girl. The owner paid for me to get my massage license or like enrollment or something in the classes. So I'm thinking I'm just studying that so I can learn how to have the verbiage and stuff for the people. They ask me that I have any interest in that. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I could do a little massage, a little one, two. At this point in time, have I ever given a massage? No. God damn it, no. But I remember on the ad it had a like the plus was oh they pay for you to become a masseuse. Cool. I don't have to come out of no other money, and it also was like oh this is just like the owner covers it. It comes with the position. Blah blah blah. By day three, they were showing me how to up how to make a listing on Backpage for the other masseuse ladies. And they all wore scrubs and shit. I never thought about it. Then I realized, like, oh, I've only seen men in here. I've only seen men in here. I've yet to see a female. besides me and the other ladies. Lord Jesus. I got paid for those 4 days I was there in my training. I do remember that. And my training was just like them kind of like walking me around. It wasn't like if you have an office space or something, the little office spaces but they're ducked off and they're like, it might be restaurants and something around, but the tell all was like there was like a car dealership, but then like just different if you rent an office space, most of the times if you work with like those big corporate companies, they don't really have a lot of rules and regulations on shit, so it's easy for you to get a space and you can do whatever you want to do out of there. They had a massage parlor and they was doing whatever they wanted to do. And I'll never forget what was like the assistant manager lady like, because yes, they tried to give me my first customer, guys. And I was just so confused because I'm thinking I'm just walking this guy in here, I'm just giving him some towels and walking back out. Me and this guy go back and forth for 15 minutes on like, so you're really not gonna give me a massage and a happy ending? Whoa there, Broham, hold on. White guy. In the end, he was super nice, and now that I know like what I know, that could have went so bad. But he was super nice. The assistant manager takes him into the other room, and mind you, after she scolds me and says, "Oh, let me show you how you handle a client. Maybe next time you won't miss out on any money." Goes in there. She's in there maybe 15 minutes. And this was like the icing on the cake. Like, I'm not coming back tomorrow. She comes out and she's like adjusting her shirt and her hair and like turned her nose up at me. But what was the reason? And after that, I remember I was like, oh, I don't feel good. My boyfriend at the time, his mom house was like up the street. So I remember Ubering over there. This story has never been told to anyone. I do not think so. It's out there now. A black owned spa, might I ask. And I can kind of give away the location because who knows? They're probably not there. They probably got busted. You don't know. It was in Richardson. It was like right off Spring Valley, but ducked off. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where this is beginning. So fast forward from there, eventually like I started working at a different call center, and like I said, I at this point I had been like finding different gigs and doing different things and like traveling a few different places in the States. Excuse me. But summer comes around. It's about 2015, and I booked my first photo shoot. It's a rooftop photo shoot. I'm super hyped. Photographer is amazing. This is before like dude wasn't a creep, but I'm sure he pulls some creepy shit with other people. We'll talk about that later because that happens a lot, and especially like sometimes you'll just come across people and it's almost like they have this connection in their mind, like this epiphany, like, oh, I can't really fuck with them like that, but they cool. So I'm gonna just see like, can I abuse one of their friends or something like that? And I don't get down like that anyway. So that's also another reason why I'm not in Hollywood anymore. But so, like I mentioned, I got a couple thousand followers on Instagram and Twitter. Um, I think I was posting on Facebook, but Facebook, it's like your high school friends and everybody from that and like your family. So I really didn't post on there because it was like eventually I started getting to the point where it was like, oh, I got a body, hips, little booty, blah blah blah. I'm just gonna post whatever I want. I used to be on Tumblr, love Tumblr, and yeah, your girl used to be in the internet streets, and I can't complain about it at all. So when I booked my first photo shoot, it was a rooftop photo shoot. My two friends at the time, my two best friends at the time, they were not like that. A little bit more reserved, fun girls, but not like I'm gonna go do a photo shoot, I'm gonna be in lingerie, all of this stuff. Like they weren't really doing that yet. I was, because I just didn't care. And again, you think you hot shit when you 21, 22, 23, and still is, okay? Still is. But with that being said, this was the earlier age of like earlier stages of like social media with the Instagram girlies and posting for likes and getting your head boosted. I was right up there taking my counter pictures, and I was there. I've had my body painted, I've had my ass painted, I've had the lingerie photo shoots, all of that. But my first photo shoot, it was like, I'll insert it into the video for YouTube. I had on this white button up long sleeve shirt. My hair was like auburn, and it was straight. It was blowing in the wind. And I had on these little high waisted shorts. I think they were from Charlotte Russe. And I had on these heels that were black. They were from Charlotte Russe or Shoe Deal. If you from Dallas, you know about Shoe Deal. And they were cute little chunky heels. The vibe was going, okay. Pictures turned out so fire. We'll show it. Still fire to this day. But from that moment on, it was like I posted those pictures, and it was like, oh, the little Dallas promoters, oh, you want a section, you got to take all your friends, be there by 9. If you know, you know. And then all of y'all are there. The club is whack until about 11 something, when the people with the money come to the club, and they don't care if they got to pay to get in. But you and your friends in y'all section, and y'all, they got a bottle, they got you the watered down cranberry juice, all of that stuff. If you know, you know. Mind you, they tell you, oh, you're gonna be on the flyer. You're on the flyer with 12 other bitches. 12 other ones. When I picked that up, I just couldn't take it anymore. But I played along. I had started meeting friends from Twitter and stuff, and it was like one of my home girls at the time. We used to be just posting pictures together, and then like going, like it was really a vibe. Twitter, Dallas Twitter, I don't even know if it's still a thing, but it used to be a thing. It used to be that thing. About it, I've literally like, especially because I see the whole talks of like canceling spring break or all the regulations and shit they're gonna have. Done the spring breaking, done the freaking what it Padre Island. If you're from Texas, you know. Florida fucking spring break. South by Southwest, which I don't think anyone should give up on that one, especially if you're like a music head. Don't. But I've done all of the things to be the it girl or whatever. Done all of that. So as I grew as a creative, like exploring like those parts and doing those things, taking pictures of South by Southwest, and just doing that and meeting other people. Because again, Twitter was really popping. Instagram used to be really popping like that before it became all like ass and titties all the time, little waist, Fashion Nova, hauls and all of that stuff. Before it became that, it was really fun, and I did that. So as I grew as a creative, because I learned how to take my own pictures, got cameras and shit, I got super comfortable with taking chances and super comfortable with collabing with people and just being like, okay, we'll do this and this and this and switch it out. And then like I said, I'm pretty free minded and free spirited, and I have a nice body. Never been afraid to show it. So I got comfortable with doing that, and you start growing socially. You meet other people. So I started to travel and stuff. And the thing about I don't really want to skip over that because I don't want to shock y'all. I also don't want anyone to think like, oh, you work with little babies and mothers and stuff, and it's like duality exists. Y'all need to learn what that is. And honestly, it's more than duality. It's more of like versatility. And you can be everything all at once. You simply can. Also, that's why I became a doula, because you don't need to. I think women, not only do they know that they have the option to have doulas and midwives and have a different option than the Western medicine version of giving birth and stuff like that. Is all other stuff that's natural to who we've been and who our ancestors and stuff have been up until this point. But I became a doula so that other women can find doulas that they relate to, and so they don't have to feel like they have to have sage burning, or they have to have soft music, or they have to feel like that's not even an option for them. It's not. That's why I became a doula, so that you understand that there are people that are just like you that will nurture who you are or who you want to be, how you want to be, when you want to be. That's why I became a doula. But back to me showing my ass and getting far from doing it. Yeah, the more creative I got, the more risky I got with it. As far as like, I just didn't care. I didn't care. I've always worked with great photographers, and you cannot find a bad photo of me. You definitely might find, I don't know where this YouTube video is at, but my cousin mama asked me to be in a video, her homeboy video. Get there, the homeboys is pawpaws damn near. So that's somewhere on the internet, and I don't know. I don't know where it is, but it was, yeah, it happened, and I never seen that footage afterwards. So, and I wasn't signing no disclosures forms, and so I don't know. So if you see that, it happened, child. It happened. It was me. Maybe it wasn't me, like Shaggy said. I don't know. But now you throw money into that, and exposure, and just other people that claim they could connect you to other people, and there are photographers, black photographer, male photographers at this point that were working with certain Instagram models, and this was kind of like my peek into like, oh, they be doing way more than what they say, but these were great photographers. Fawcett, and I cannot think of his name, but he's had like really bad charges come out about him, but women still work with him because when you're an urban model, it's like, oh, the work speaks for itself. It doesn't matter what you said, there's gonna be another chick that's gonna give up the coochie for the photo shoot. So started seeing that, but still didn't let that bother me, because it was like, okay, well, I could just say no. And because a lot of the times the photographers are outside of, or were outside of Dallas or whatever, it was just like a simple conversation over text, or Twitter or something, and they've liked 100 of my pictures or something like that. Like, it never was anything that was like I had to go run and hide from these people. So you just say no, and then you move on about your business, and they still like your pictures. The one I didn't work with Fawcett, but I did end up working with I want to say who he is so bad, but he's a huge urban photographer. did the photo shoot at this really nice spot, like loft in Dallas. Took my best friend to the photo shoot with me, and it was not weird until after, like when it was time to send my pictures. So never got my pictures from that fucking photo shoot. Never did. He didn't use them either, because again, he do have some type of like professional ways, but pervert is the other way he works as well. So and that happens. I mean, what I ended up finding out is like some of these creative men are like so creative, but they've never had game. They've never been around so many pretty women, and then you put pretty women and pretty half naked women or naked women, and they see that you're working with the bigger Instagram girlies at the time, so they're just happy. Or you're working with the big strippers, you're working with whatever, and the work is good. How do you deny it? You can't. You simply can't. But at some point after that, again, I'm making a little money. I also have a little money from working, um, full time during this time as well. So it's like, okay, and then I can travel. Traveling was fun, but again, like I said, I decided that I wanted to become a urban model. An urban model, I would say, think of some women in Playboy are like that. They're not all strippers or whatever you want to think women in Playboy, porn stars or whatever you want to think they are. They're not always that. But when I decided to do that, maybe a year and a half into that, I decided I'm gonna go to LA. I'm gonna go to LA. How can I not make it out in LA? Blah blah blah. My lease is up, so that secured it. And I remember, like, because I had a little puppy at the time, that like during this time, like my mom had him, like he had bounced around from different places. And the day that I was leaving, or like the day before, it was the day I was leaving, I could not take him with me to where I was going, to the hotel or whatever. He wasn't really trained to be on the plane and just calm on the plane. I remember being so stressed, but I was like, I'm out of here. And I was out of there. I literally was out of there. Never went back, besides like visiting and stuff. But lo and behold, like getting to LA was different. It was amazing those first few weeks I was there, or that first month, because it was like, because I still had obligations other places. I figured, okay, I'll just do the hotel thing, go from different hotels. Really fun. Spend a lot of time in the beach cities, on the beach, living out of hotels, nice hotels. And it was really, honestly, really fun. Honestly, really fun. Because I didn't have a kid, I didn't have anything. It was just fun. And I was dating this guy there, and it was just fun. I was just having fun and doing what I need to do. Kind of getting a little taste of like, okay, people got a little money, whatever. Being on the beach, trying to figure out my place there. And of course, by this point in time, I had already discovered like Hollywood is a shit show. But one of my weekends there, I booked a Airbnb in Hollywood. And that really just secured, like, it's dirty and I'm not gonna like it here. I'm not gonna like it here. Didn't like it here. If you ever been to Hollywood, the Walk of Fame, all of that might be the scariest. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, because I'm gonna tell you a story about how I walked through Skid Row and I didn't even know Skid Row exists, y'all. I did not know Skid Row existed. And while there are a lot of creepy places in downtown LA and just around, Hollywood is the scariest one to me. It's the scariest one to me. And even when I would go to um there was a studios like I think like Burbank is really nice and quiet and clean. How and again, this is why I'm not in LA. Spend the night at this Airbnb. Hate it's so actually I had two crazy Airbnb experiences, and the second one my homegirl was there with me. And it those were the experiences that kind of ruled out Airbnbs, especially in LA for me. Actually, I had three. I had three because if you know where Sorella Boutique, there was an Airbnb behind there, and it was like it turned out it was someone's house, and you only get a room. Oh my god, that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy because there was definitely like a little shootout on that block. Oh my god, so many experiences in LA where it was just like, yeah. But of course, if you don't know, I do have a clothing company or brand that I've been pursuing over the last few years, and it's kind of been on hold because shit is high. And honestly, shit is high, and just trying to source proper equipment and just things in this environment right now are just ridiculous. So I focus on my other things. But I thought that being closer to, being in LA if someone needed me for things, which I was still leaving, going elsewhere at the time, now that I think about that. But also the fashion industry and stuff. You can go shop if you got your wholesale license. You can go get whatever your little heart desires from downtown LA. Whatever you want, they got it. They got it. Literally, they got it. Fabric, jewelry, house stuff, whatever. What's my little valley over there? Saint Alley. Am I thinking of the right place? Look, downtown LA, they got it, okay? In some of those areas you don't necessarily need a wholesale license, but it's nice because you get really good discounts and shit. Or now it's probably just overpriced. There's other sites online, but we're not talking about that right now. But so many things happened where it was just like one of the apartment buildings I went to go look at and thought I wanted to live at. Pretty sure a couple of people passed away there, women. I made a list because there are so many things that happen. But the one that takes the cake for me is, okay, mind you, at this time, again, young, dumb, don't really care. As long as I got the money, whatever, I can make it happen. Well, I think I had like Bank of America or something. But this is at the point in time where it's like either I have the money or I don't have the money, or I would be like moving money from different things, PayPal, whatever. Because that's how you would get paid as a model. Sometimes it's a check, sometimes it's that, whatever. One morning, this is like this is one of my shoots that it was not going to be necessarily my first shoot that wasn't necessarily a urban model like poke your booty out type of situation, or not like a lifestyle Tumblr vibe type of thing. So it was downtown LA. Downtown LA is very is not is busy, but it's not super busy, especially when you get to the part where all of the warehouses and stuff and like factories and stuff are. I had a photo shoot there. I believe I went there the day before to go meet the photographer and just make sure I was gonna be cool. Black dude, very respectful, great photo shoot. Um, my photo shoot was early in the morning. I forgot my phone bill was due. I think I had Metro or some. I had Metro or T-Mobile, one of the two, and I forgot to one put the money onto my card in my account, and also to pay it. So when I leave out of my photo shoot, I'm trying to call an Uber. Mind you, I can't get back into the building because it's one that locks when you go out, and you locked out unless you close it. Well, I couldn't call an Uber, so I couldn't call the photographer. Nobody was going back up, so I'm just thinking, huh, I'll just walk towards downtown. Well, I had like a 10-minute walk. And I think at some point I got by the police station and they had Wi Fi. I connect to the Wi Fi at the police station, hoping that I can call me an Uber, get it, like at least it'll like take the money out for that and I'll be good. That works. Well, I keep walking past the police station. Now start seeing like decently dressed homeless people. Also, I start seeing these really nice like tents and stuff, like just everything's nice, but it's still I can tell they're homeless, but they're not super scary. But then like I see that they're homeless and I keep walking. Y'all, I'm walking up Skid Row and I have no idea. I have no idea. These are the friendliest fucking people. It's a whole community, whole blocks of them or whatever, minding their business, tending to their morning. It was like 10 or 11. I'm just trying to get to Starbucks that I seen when I used the Wi-Fi. So I keep going, I keep going, I keep going. Some guy stops and I just knew something was about to fucking happen. And he goes, "Are you okay? Are you lost?" And I was like, "I'm just trying to get to Starbucks." He points it out to me. He was like, "You have a good day." I passed like that was just police station in Skid Row. It was once I realized and processed what happened, I said never again, never again, never again. But it was a great experience as far as like safety wise and shit. Skid Row is very put together, and those people have their own community, and it was really really nice. Since then, I have like volunteered or I had met a guy in a hotel lobby or something that was telling me more about Skid Row, like, oh, I used to be there. And, I don't think anything is wrong with that because it's just so well regulated and put together. So, whew, it really was that was like I don't want to say it wasn't a broke girl moment at all because I simply just didn't have the money on my card, but I had the cash and didn't think of it. Living fast, too damn fast. But it was like I had this beautiful ass photo shoot, and then here I am, like forgetting to put money to pay my phone bill and shit. So that happened. Well, after being in LA for some time, I started wanting to meet other chicks that were not necessarily in the modeling industry, but like involved in some other stuff. So I meet a friend. We'll call her Mina. So I meet Mina. We've like been texting over Instagram. She's so cool. Um, she's cool. She's like, oh, I know all the spots, the people, blah blah blah. So eventually she's like, oh, come meet me. She's in Pasadena, which I later on like settle there before I leave eventually, but she's in Pasadena somewhere. And I'm just like, okay, I'll go meet her one night. I go meet her thinking that I'm gonna pull up to a house or something. No, I knew she was at a hotel. I knew she was at a hotel. She told me it was a hotel. Well, more so, it was a motel type of vibe. And I'm still just like, okay, that's okay. I have my suitcase with me. I have, what else did I have? Because I was like, oh, well, I'll just find me someplace there. Like when I say I used to just be moving and grooving how I wanted to, I did. So I had my stuff with me. And never did I think like I'm gonna stay with her or anything, but I was going to go meet up with her, and her place was a safe spot to leave my shit, is what I was thinking. I get there. There are 4 to 5 bitches outside of her, Mina herself, and that's fine. One of my good homegirls that ended up becoming one of my good homegirls. She was one of those girls, and mind you, Mina had her Benz parked outside of there, and she was like, "Oh, just put your bag in here." I didn't know all these girls were there, so I'm already like side eyeing. I'm like, okay, let me just make sure y'all not trying to jump me or something. Because well, I'm not flashy. I don't got like flashy shit. I got a regular ass suitcase, all of this stuff. I done Uber here. And this was like my first or second time in Pasadena besides driving through downtown Pasadena. So I was just very like, okay, let me just check the vibe out. That was my introduction to hoes. I don't know. Let me not say that. Not to hoes, but to there's a lot of other things going on that you have no idea what's going on. The prettiest girls are the saddest, and they love a little. They love that. Again, I try not to judge, and I keep moving. Fast forward, you know, maybe 8 weeks later or so. Now I'm pursuing more acting because I did acting school out there. I dated someone that paid for that. That was amazing. Um, During that time, I'm just finding out like LA people just really are not my cup of tea. Now, the people from the other cities are great. Pasadena, great people. Beach cities, great people. Everywhere but central LA and Hollywood has really great people in California. So I don't want to say they're all bad, but they just suck. Hollywood was dirty. The people, everyone wants to figure out how they can one up you or whatever. And how long do you want to deal with that? A lot of people do, but I don't. I don't even see if I had the excuse me millions to have the little house or whatever there. I just don't see it. And honestly, as beautiful as that beach is there, it's cold water. So yeah, it was super easy for me to decide like, hey, I'm out of here. And long story short, I ended up just realizing I don't have to be there to be successful. If you're a model, artist, whatever the fuck you do, yes, the record labels are there. Fly there, leave. Seriously, just go, because you will only, unless you pursue people outside of the entertainment industry, you're not really going to meet a lot of good people, especially black people. And one of the things I really regret is like during that time, I think Issa Rae was coming up and just like growing in her own way. If I would have pursued, it would have been nice to pursue like we're getting in line, we're getting aligned with anyone like the Quinita, um, Issa, all of those people and directors and stuff that are like really popping now, that are out of LA, or shows that are produced in LA or whatever. I would have loved to be a part of that. it's never too late, but I would have loved to been a part of that, because now the Black LA is like a huge force. It's always had like its own thing, but it's very hard to like get and find that, because when you go to all the places in Hollywood and just down, like when you go to most of the places, especially when you have like a couple of connections, the vibe is not it. Is not it. Also, towards the end of that and making my decision I was gonna leave, I had a very interesting situation where I made it through auditions for a role for a show that I had already like been a co backstar in type of vibe. And basically on my second audition, when I got the call and they're like, "Oh, we want to bring you in, but it is a sex scene for with a main character," and it was gonna be a very, very intimate 3-minute sex scene. First of all, why am I having sex on TV? I'm a virgin, mom, if you're listening. And then I just saw like, I don't want my dad. I just thought of like all the scenes that I've seen in my life, and I'm like, hold on, hold on. I don't know. And I didn't sell my soul for the fucking part. I just was like, no, I can't do it. And the lady that I would work with, because she was not my management, but she did manage other actors and models and stuff. Luckily, she liked me enough to where she would always be very willing to share different gigs around town and just other cities with me. And she understood and knew that I didn't come there for that. Also was aware that, hey, I probably wouldn't go for it. And I didn't go for it, because you telling me my scene gonna be on BET and they can rewatch that shit on demand HD. I just couldn't do it. Since then, every time I see a sex scene on there, I'm just on anything, I'm just like, oh, I'm wondering what life would have been. But I still would not sell out for that. I'm not interested in that. I wouldn't want to be known for that. And I'm not known for that. So there is that. But I'll put it in my notes. More cokeheads. Casting couch incident. More cokeheads. Um, and you don't have to be in LA to be successful at any of these things. And really, it's more personality. Like, what's sad is like we take our personalities and these big personalities and shit to LA, and they want you to be cookie cutter. No, 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 no. So yeah, you're probably wondering now, what does any of that have to do with soul and grace? But knowing myself during that time, those trying times, on Patreon, I'll tell some more details. So, 'cause I have so many good stories with fucking just, just being at the right place at the being at the right place at an interesting time. Such a good time. But honestly, Soul and Grace has to do with this because it built this soul, and towards the end of that part of being in LA and deciding like, yeah, I'm gonna leave. Like, it's all right. I'll try somewhere else. That really took a lot of grace, because I don't know, just giving myself the grace. I didn't realize I was giving myself the grace, honestly, because I remember I had this homegirl that I met randomly walking from the beach, and her what I thought was her boyfriend, her date, were like flagging me down on their rooftop patio. If you've been on the beach, you know how like the houses they're like flagging me down. I go up there, we all get drunk, have a great Saturday, Sunday, um, with random people again. wrong place at an interesting time. And it was a very fun time. And they were fun people. Um, but she was like from I later on found out that she's like 30 something. She looks super young. 30 something, has a daughter. Her daughter is always away and she just was gallivanting with the tricks. And I did not know that, but it was a great time that night with them. But she would always just ask me like, "Wait, why are you leaving again? It's so awesome. It's so awesome." But mind you, yes, for blonde, it is awesome. It's fun. But for me, especially coming from where it's like back home, it's a mix. I don't have to deal with anything. But I wasn't looking to conform and turn into the valley girl, the valley black girl, the kiss ass LA model. It just wasn't for me. So I got up out of there. I got up out of there real quick and came to Colorado. And that in itself is another story, but I didn't come to Colorado thinking like, oh, it's about. I did think like my modeling stuff wouldn't be affected, but as far as like coming here and thinking like I'm gonna turn it into my new LA or whatever. No, I knew like I'm gonna get more into the stuff that I started doing here. More like I used to hike back in Texas because there are a lot of paths and stuff like that there, but mountain hiking and stuff, I did a little of that in California. Running Canyon used to be there all the time, like everybody else. Great hike. Used to do it all the time. Now, I knew when I came to Colorado it was gonna be like a little different. But I was downtown, so downtown to the mountains the whole time. Like that was fun. But I never really thought like I was gonna move here and turn it into my version of Hollywood at all. So let's get into Queen, where I wrap up this story. Before we move on and wrap this up, I do want to say my transition from LA to Colorado was like, it was not like a boom, boom. I went to my mom's house and I was definitely sleeping on, like, sleeping in my sister's bed or sleeping on that couch. And I remember it was like April and freaking at this point, I think I had like maybe two shoes, but outside of that, I was just doing like a lot of going outside in Dallas. And child, I remember my mom was like, "When are you leaving? When are you going to get off my couch? When are you leaving?" And that shit was frustrating me so much because it was like, I'm your daughter. You don't want me here? You don't want me here? I didn't want to be there. I was on sleeping on the couch, honey. Imagine sleeping one in nice places or having a bed or nice hotels or whatever. Then you go sleep on your mama couch. It was a time. It was a time. But Queen, I want to wrap it up. And I noted that like during that time, it was I definitely have a journal. It is out because it's like a pink sparkling one, and I remember just journaling like, you know, this is what I want moving forward because I've done a lot of things. I don't even think I mentioned at some point I thought I wanted to be a rapper. There's a song with me out somewhere unless she deleted it because she was like, I don't know, we were like wanted to be the city girls before that was the city girls, but she went on to do more music. I don't know if that video is still up anywhere, but I mean, like we went to Atlanta, recorded the song with a producer. I think we shot like a mini video. I remember we went to Fort Worth one night If you know nothing about Fort Worth, from there to Dallas is about an hour, but we're leaving the studio at about 4. As soon as we get on the highway, her freaking tire pops. Many, many lives. Many, many lives. And if you're wondering why I stopped rapping, I love rap. I maybe can rap a little one too, but the voice is never gonna let me be great, and that really sucks. So I'll just continue to be a doll. I'll continue to be a doll, but I really had that moment where I was like, oh, and I have it scripted in his journal, like the things that I wanted to do, knowing that, okay, I know I don't want to be back in Dallas. Like, what else do I want to do? And just writing down and scripting out, like, well, I'm not going to be here. I still want to pursue my boutique. I still want to pursue art, however I want to do that. Um, I ended up getting locked in with a guy here, and I used to shoot with him first, and then I've shot with other photographers that have come through Colorado a few times back in the at this point back in the day, because that's like, oof, 2017. Damn, damn. But the realization of it all was like, I just knew I wasn't going back to LA. um Whatever I needed whatever I felt like, like all the other things that I felt like I was moving to LA for, or could possibly move somewhere else for, was like, no, those are easily accessible. I can get on a plane somewhere and it would all be okay. Now this is all pre-pandemic, so that was before I knew they could shut the whole world down, and a virus could really come kill people. I mean, I survived Ebola. Do y'all remember that one? Ebola? Ugh, Jesus. At this point, I've survived Ebola, swine flu, um, COVID, you niggers. Sorry. But yeah, I've avoided that, so that was cool. But get to Denver. Denver was still just like, I didn't really settle any roots. And even like meeting my son's dad, like we would just go do stuff, or if I wanted to go do other stuff, either I would go back home or go wherever I wanted to that wasn't here. And I kind of messed up with that because I had like a couple of friends here, but I never really focused on building the community and stuff like that. And then the pandemic happens, it's like, oh, the person I saw the most was like my son's dad, and that was, nothing's wrong with that. But in that point, it was like, okay, I know where I'm at and where I want to be. I have to start acting towards those things. And again, the pandemic happened. Later on, I get pregnant in the pandemic, and that, again, nothing's wrong with that, but it just changed a lot of things around. So while, like, you go from being able to do all of these things to a mandatory shutdown, um, having a successful clothing store for a little bit during that time, then getting pregnant. Um, I think because I did like a photo shoot for my store, one of my last collections, which was like inspired by a 90s Versace collection. And I did a photo shoot while pregnant. I was like 5 or 6 months pregnant. I wasn't really that big showing, so it was like really fun to do. And then that was my last studio shoot for that. Um, and after that, it was just kind of like, about my son, waiting for my son to get here. And nothing's wrong with that either. Nothing's wrong with that either. But when you have kids, some women find out the hard way and go through postpartum and things like that. Like, oh no, I really need to be doing more to make myself happy and pouring into my soul and giving myself grace because, hey, it was different to give myself grace before, because the grace that I gave myself while modeling and doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do was like, as long as I stay focused and I don't let anyone get me off track, I'm not getting drunk all the time, I'm not getting high. I, high like everybody else around me was getting high on whatever the fuck they wanted to use. As long as I wasn't doing that, it will work out. Then when you have a kid, it becomes you're more focused on them, but you are keeping yourself in the back of your mind. But eventually, especially coming out of a pandemic, it's like, okay, well, I've I focused on this, I focused on my baby, I focused on that, but I need to focus on the things that make me happy. And at first it started with like just trying to make sure I go to a spa or chiropractor and do all of those things, but that wasn't enough. So then I started reading a couple of books and different articles and doing like at some point during the pandemic I decided like, oh, I wrote a book about having a I wrote a book. My book is amazing actually. Wrote a book, very very helpful for even young shit of a 16-year-old, honestly. Um where I thought I wanted to teach people how to open stores and be boutique owner and all of those things. It's like, that doesn't really make me happy wanting to boss people around. Because then you realize people don't really, a lot of times they just want you to give them all the answers and everything. And I wasn't here for that. So again, like all of these things that I thought would be so helpful and that just weren't. But you know what was very helpful? Just simply doing more of the things that make me happy. And at some point, I think everyone realizes like the money is like, yeah, the money gets you either in the room, the money gets you to the destination, it gets you all those things, but the money is not the happiness. So the not the soul search, but the soulful search began then, and it's kind of just been going on the last 3 years. And within that, I've poured more into my interest of wanting to help women become more, because even being a model, like being in these dressing rooms and in these auditions with so many beautiful women, but they have either all of these inner battles, inner challenges, or physical, like outside challenges or whatever. It's like you meet so many women, friends, family, whoever, and it's like, man, we're so obsessed with pouring into everyone else but ourselves. And that's how really Soul and Grace was born. And here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Wow. And to just really close out Queen, I just want to say, if anything, if you don't learn anything else from me, please, 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 please do not, don't forget about you. Because one of the things in my story is like I've always done what I wanted to do, or I'm gonna do what I want to do first. And I just want Soul and Grace to be about teaching people that, I'm sorry, it's gonna sound selfish to a lot of people, like, oh, self love, but it is what it is. You gotta love on yourself first, and then you can do the rest. You can conquer the rest. You really can. The relationship, the job, the the life, the life that you want. You need to conquer that self love. And when I say conquer that self love, master learning self love, or get in the habit of practicing self love and practicing self-love in a everyday way, making it a part of your lifestyle, not just getting to a point. And that's why I say like the books and stuff don't really work. They work, they're great manuals, they are great maps, road maps, but you have to live. You have to keep living. You literally have to keep living. You have to keep searching, and you have to just live for you. Even if you have kids, even if you have anything. Apparently, for if you have kids, you can, as a mother, if you are a mother listening to this, maybe you're a father or something, but the mother is responsible for the quality of life for their children. So make yourself happy. Do the things, chase the things. Don't be scared of the things. Be a little scared. I don't know. Be scared, but still do that shit. Do it. But don't go to LA and do it. Don't go to LA and do it. You don't got to. You do not have to at all. Literally. You don't have to. If you learn anything else and you trust me with any other advice or any advice, trust that you don't have to go to LA. You don't. Because, oh, you know that song, Walking in LA? Walking in LA? Nobody is fucking walking in LA, and that is true. That is very true. They're not walking, they're hop skipping. Some of them are walking or they go other places, or like a lot of the black creators, like I listed Issa Rae, Quinita. Oh Lord, I hope that's how you pronounce her name because I want to work for her in the future. But those, they have different stories because of course we have to, y'all know, if you're of color, we just have more to go through, more obstacles and stuff in those spaces. But nobody walks in LA and is Tupac. I think that is a Tupac song. To live and die in LA. A lot of people literally go there and die physically. They still with us, but they go there and die. Look at Kanye. Look at Kanye. Now, as we close out the final episode of season 1, again, as always, thank you for listening and showing up. I hope that season 1 has either made you think, taught you something, made you believe that there's hope, or led you to hope, or something just led you in the right direction. Season 2, we are hopping into more things that more conversations on like things that are going on in the outside world, or because I don't want to say more relevant things, but other conversations that kind of are linked to these things, or just questions and circumstances that may come about along this journey, but definitely more we'll call it girl talk. More girl talk, less information, less breaking things down, because y'all know I said we're not talking about Krishan and Blueface and Shade Room and Hollywood and that's not this. This is not that. All things that we talk about over here will always lead back to how it makes us feel inside, and how we're going to stay afloat, how we're going to stay happy, how we're going to conquer the shit. If you're listening and you want to be on my show, shoot me an email or message me on one of my socials on the link, and we'll get into that. But if you're not interested, and if you're not looking to be vulnerable, also if you don't know what you're talking about, or you're not willing to if you're not willing to share or anything like that, you're not welcome to the show, because it's all about women development and growing. Or if I don't want to say completely women, but if you're a guy and you're listening to this, hey boo, yeah, if you want to be featured on here, I am open to it. I very much am, but we are always dedicated to self-love and just positive things. Not that we're always in a positive mood or spirit, but just things that don't necessarily bring us down. you have battles as we speak. Oh Lord, my ring. Hanging over here. You know, everyone has their everyday battles. Everyone has their real shit that they got to think about. I would really love for Soul and Grace to just be a safe space and haven for all of us that are listening, and something to really just brighten your day, morning, night, whatever your life. I just want to brighten your life. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, thanks for listening. Well, we're going to wrap up season 1, and I will see you guys in episode 1 of season 2. I don't know what language I want to say bye in, but bye in English. Bye in English. I'm out. Make sure you go and follow me on TikTok, Instagram. I'm not on it right now, but you can still go follow the page at soulplusgrace. That's the only handle that I haven't been able to get, but TikTok, Soul and Grace, with soulandgrace.com if you want to check us out on the website. Soul and Grace on Shopify, Apple Podcasts, no, Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Oh, it's Google Podcasts not a thing anymore? I'm on all of it. It's all there. Go find it. I'm out. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.